Did you see that post?
People are talking.
Here's what's trending on the Rickey Smiley Morning Show.
So if FAMU wasn't under a big enough microscope for its football program, its bowling program is now receiving national attention, and not in a good way.
You know, I'm a FAMU grad, so this is personal for me, Rock T. Capri Howard replaced former coach Karen Brown, who retired last year after 11 seasons with the Rattlers. A viral TikTok by a Florida A&M student athlete has caused quite a stir on social media. Rattler bowling team member Shamoria Johnson took to her TikTok account to allege that she was kicked off the bowling team due to a desire to study for final exams.
I said, hey, coach, I won't be able to come into practice on Monday, December 4th, because I have 2 final papers due that I will need to work on. Unlike the rest of my teammates, I got no response back. I didn't get a text message back. And instead, she sent us an email where she was stating that we needed to manage our time better, and being a student athlete, we should be able to balance our schoolwork and our academic work. So having homework or studying is not an excuse to miss practice.
Okay, so FAMU released a statement from Vice President of Intercollegiate Athletics, Tiffany Dawn Sykes, on X, formerly Twitter, responding to Johnson's accusations. Now, according to Sykes, Johnson's dismissal was supported by NCAA rules. In response to Johnson's removal, 3 teammates also left the team, protesting because they felt uncomfortable with the decision.
Now get this, the team has since been replaced, but Johnson is still enrolled at Florida A&M as an English major with a 3.7 GPA and says she wants to stay at the institution.
Absolutely. Good for her, man. So this morning we want to know if the coach and the school were right to dismiss the student, or should the coach and department be held accountable. So let me say this, man. As a student athlete, let's break that down. You are a student first and an athlete second. Now, they both work together. They work hand in hand. From the coach's perspective, the coach is right. You must be able to balance both as a student athlete. You knew that coming into this bad boy. From the student perspective, kudos to her for putting her studies first, because that says a lot about her character and her integrity as well. I don't think she should have been kicked off the team. I think the coach should have, said, hey, go do what you got to do to keep your grades up, because if your grades ain't up, you ain't going to be able to play sports. So we'll be here for you. It's all to the good. She missed practice. It wasn't a game. It wasn't a competition. So, I think they went a little too far for kicking her off the team, in my opinion.
Yeah, and the other part of this story is that, this new coach came in and the players were used to having this downtime around the holidays. And so this new coach came in and said, okay, well, I know Thanksgiving is over. We're going to come in and have practice on December 4th, and these athletes weren't used to it. So maybe they just kind of needed a heads up that things were changing under this new leadership. So it's a little give and take, but I do think the coach's response was proper. Like, you got to be able to manage both.
Yeah, but my thing is, though, with a mind being a terrible thing to waste, that child did not waste her mind, and that coach should be fired for trying to make her chastisement for missing practice. So, she's in school to get an education. Now, if she was going to school on a athletic scholarship, that's a different story. But that coach should be reprimanded.
She was there on a scholarship.
She was.
Yeah.
Well, but if she's not used to this coach, if he's changing or she's changing things, which y'all saying about the during the holiday time or what have you, she had to get her studies, honey, because there's enough kids out here nowadays, honey, don't know no better or don't know A from B. So let that child get her education, and that sports just wait until the season comes.
Maybe a suspension, but not getting kicked off the entire team.
Yeah, that's excessive.
That's a lot to me.
That's why I didn't get into sports, because I was afraid I would got kicked off.
Oh, is that the only reason why, Gary?
Yeah, I don't know, man. There's probably 42 other reasons.
Yeah. Let's go to the phone lines, man, see what y'all talking about.
Room would you use?
8669 Rickey. Rickey Smiley Morning Show. Good morning.
Yes, I think the coach is right for dismissing the student. I had 2 student athletes in college, and I understand. And that season is such a short season. And generally during those times, students are advised to take some of the less strenuous classes. This sport is paying for the students to attend this school.
Hey, this is Shanice calling from Orlando, and I think that the coaches in the department are wrong. People go to school just to get a good education, and you can't even play sports unless you have good grades. So dismissing her for keeping up with the thing that allows her to play sports anyways just doesn't even make any sense.
I'm Autumn, and I'm calling from Orlando. And I think the coach was absolutely justified in her decision. I'm a teacher, and I work with these kids, and they lack time management and accountability. So why was the kid studying during practice? Did they miss another opportunity to study? And if there's policies and procedures set in place, then that's what the student needs to abide by, or there are consequences.
Hi, this is Mia. I'm calling from Atlanta. The coaches as well as the administration was definitely wrong. They should never place sports over academics, and that just lets me know where that school and that district places all of their faith in. They places their faith into the sports system instead of the academic system.
That's right. I'm surprised so many people agree with
the coach.
The coach.
Yeah, the opinions are real polarizing.
You would think people would value the education. Like, these kids got to get their education.
But I mean, the point about time management is a big one. The caller that mentioned that, because if you're going to be a student athlete, you got to know how to manage your time between both, especially if your athleticism is funding your education. So figure out how to balance it too.
But the other thing, we ain't talking about football or basketball players here. We're talking about bowlers.
Hey, man, bowling is still skill.
But I'm
funding
saying
her education.
I get that, but I'm saying, how important is the bowling team to the school?
It's important because it's funding it. She's getting money for it.
It sure is.
It's bowling. Bowling is an activity. It ain't even a sport.
It is a sport.
He's not going to do that.
Disrespect that sport.
Bowling is not a sport. It's an activity.
It's a sport.
It's a sport,
No, it's
man.
not.
Well, since
If you can wear regular,
what it was.
if you can wear regular clothes and do it, it ain't a sport.
They have uniforms.
The hell out of here.
What sport did you play in prison?
Let them
Special
kids.
K?
See,
Bowling.
See, let me get HR on the line. Let's see what they think about it.
Y'all play kickball.
I tell you what.
Y'all play kickball
Y'all better
in the
let
yard.
They
y'all better
play
let
tag.
them, y'all better
They
let
play
them kids
tag.
get them educations, or they gonna end up on a radio morning show doing news you can't use.